We were asked by the Oxford Castle to develop a project that would link with the national First World War commemorations that have been taking place over the last couple of years. We chose to focus on young people, and over the past 6 months we've run a programme that has enabled them to explore the history of First World War Oxfordshire.
It's been an amazing experience. One thing it's really helped me with as an artist is to understand more about what was happening at this time, but also trying to create work. It allowed me to sort of get more into it, more channeled into it, because you can't sometimes physically get into the work, but with this, doing all the research, going to the Somme, following the footsteps, it really allowed me to get more experience from it, so it's been really good fun.
When people usually think of the trenches, they're missing another half of the war, which was equally as terrible, if not more so in some respects, and I felt like it would be a good tribute to the sailors of Oxford to do a piece on one of those men.
The photography work has been incredible, and I think only one of us has actually had proper photography skills, so yeah, the photography's been amazing, and how it's all come together. It's weird because you don't really know where you're heading, and I know Amine had said like we're going to have boards, and then you actually see the boards, it's like, oh wow, like I was actually working towards this. It's really cool.
He was such an inward person, had all these fantasy stories in his head, but he was involved in the Great War, the biggest war that the world had ever seen, and I just loved how it was reflected in his work because that's what I'm interested in.
Each generation has their own issues. It was really interesting to actually see what her life was like specifically throughout the First World War and what life is like as a young person in total war.
When researching the project, I found it interesting to keep finding out little snippets of their life, and when I found out that her brother was a soldier, I thought it must have been quite hard for her to work in the hospital every day, confronting what her brother is living through in France at the same time.
As soon as the war ended, she upped by herself and went to Belgium to see where her brother had died, and she took photos, and that's one of them is this one here. This is his cross in the battlefield, and I thought that's a really interesting story. Not many women would have done that in 1918, so soon after the war. So I sort of thought, let's see what she's sort of about.
Well, I began this project within 2 weeks of moving to Oxford, so it was a wonderful experience to just jump into the history of the city and the people who have inhabited it about 100 years ago. And it's been a fantastic experience to meet other young people who are also passionate about heritage.